faith is everything. It gives validation to why we're living. You know, for me, you know, having faith means, you know what, I could feel like Sway, you know, I ain't got all the answers. It's cool because that's what faith is. Faith is still believing even though you don't have all the answers. I wouldn't be in this rap game if I didn't have faith that I was being led by God to be a rapper. Because growing up, bruh, I wasn't a leader, you know what I mean? I was the homecoming king and basketball player, but anybody who knows me can attest to the fact that I wasn't a leader. I was just real good at whatever the trend was, being that. I just was trying to fit in and trying to do whatever it took to seem cool to people. I was led to be in this rap game and to take the path that's less traveled by people, you know, especially from my city. You know all the rappers from my city, bro, and I'm, you know, definitely in my own lane, carving my own path. So I was put in this game because, you know, my faith in God is what led me to like, wow, I'm being called to be a leader in this industry. And that's the only reason why I'm in this game. And whenever I forget that, I gotta remind myself and give myself a wake-up call that you're only in this industry to be a leader, you know, and to be led, even to do stuff that doesn't make sense to the rest of the world sometimes. But your faith is what's gonna allow you to be bold and courageous and do that. Earlier in my life, things that happened, honestly, that made me even start rapping, it was all dark stuff that made me start rapping. One was, you know, one of my best friends in the world, he got murdered in New Orleans. I had never experienced, you know, that type of hurt before. Just like a dark, I don't know, just like a dark feeling that is permanent too. It's like a scar, you know, that happened. When Hurricane Katrina hit, that really did something to me, man. Like, to see like my grandpa cry, you know, to hear my uncle, I remember hearing him break down over the phone. I had just started college, but to, you know, hear them say like, yo, the family is on my back now, you know, like I gotta be the rock. These are the people I look to for stability my whole life, and to see how that shook them up so much, you know, that inspired me to want to start rapping. That's a tough spot. And I just feel like at this point, the main reason why I'm in this game is to be a canvas and to be transparent, because my transparency helps other people. That's why I like doing interviews. To any young person that's going through something right now and they feel like, man, the world is just, you know, against me, you know, I would stress to them that you were created on purpose for a purpose. It's that simple. No matter what you're going through, we were all put here on purpose. None of us are accident. We were put here for a purpose. So at that point, it's like, all right, I'm just gonna have a different testimony or a different story than the next man because of my circumstances. But I do have a purpose. So now with that being said, start to tap into, well, what is my purpose? You know, I call it the David and Goliath analogy. That's my first name is David. So I look at my life like, what are the Goliaths in my life? What are the demons or the giants that I was put here to kind of slay? You know what I mean? That's what I would tell the young people at that point is, no matter how bad it is, man, know that you were put here for a purpose. And now life is just about figuring out what that purpose is and tapping into it. It's that simple. Now, I'm a smart dude, you know, I'm a real smart dude. So I thought about it and I was like, man, I have the unique ability to appeal to people literally in mainstream, which is why I've been on tour with Macklemore, Lupe Fiasco, all the way to people in the church, which is why I went on tour with Lecrae, you know, and literally some of the venues we performed at were like big, huge, like church halls and stuff. So I'm like, I have the ability to appeal to both, but I don't know much about, you know, that the infrastructure, the industry setup when it comes to like the inspiration world. So I'm like, if this basketball, I'm good with my left hand, so I can keep being good with my left hand, but let me partner with some people who are good with the right hand. You know what I mean? Cause I'm not as skilled with the right hand. So that way it just balances it off, man. Cause I make music for everybody. And you can put me in whatever box you want. You could call it whatever you want. At this point, I don't worry about any of that. I just make the music, and it's amazing the doors that just open, and people, the same two people will love something I do, but they'll be from different walks of life. And that's the power of music. What I've learned about myself in the past few years that I didn't know about myself is that I have a strong desire to be a leader who leads with integrity. There's a lot of people who are professionally a success, and in their personal life, they're a mess. in this industry, and they're making it, they're winning professionally. But behind closed doors, behind that curtain, their life is in shambles, man. Their morals, their principles, everything's messed up, their family life crazy. What I learned about myself is I wouldn't be content with living that type of life. So my prayer to God became, God, don't make me successful professionally if personally I'm not on par with where you want me to be. Integrity matters that much to me, straight up.
Just relentlessly came down here and put in the work, and I think that's just what you have to do being from Canada. I mean, I was always told to get respect in your city, you gotta leave your city, and that's something I've always done.
We live in a very trivial kind of culture where we're elevating and celebrating things that don't matter that much. You know what I mean? In the grand scope of life.
People will very much abandon what they want because there was some part of it that they didn't have or didn't have access to or couldn't get. And it's just like, I can't do this, so I can't even, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, if you want it, it's what you make of it.
I've had moments where I was just like, fuck it, man, I'm in debt, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get a job, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta stop with the music, you know what I'm saying? I've had plenty of moments like that, but honestly, this is what I'm passionate about, and what is success without struggle?